So in my last video, I explored MrBeast's abandoned server, and I ended up finding a bunch of cool builds, from small houses to full-on projects that has been made by tens of people. But today, I decided to go on the main highway on the server, which is just this very long road. So come with me to explore the road, see some of its amazing structures on the way, and answer the question, how long is the road actually is? Well, we're gonna find out. Anyways, enjoy. First, I took all the gear I got from the last video on the server, and I started going towards the main highway. Eventually, I got to the highway, and I saw a pretty cool structure. It didn't look that griefed, and it looked like a cool museum. Anyways, I moved on and kept walking on the highway. Eventually, I reached the 5K mark, which was this lava cast, and apparently this Ohio guy made it. Now, I looked up, and inside the lava cast, there was a ton of signs that said the same thing. Anyways, I moved on and kept walking. After I moved on, I found this structure, which seems to be an attempt to make a mob farm, but the guy that made this farm definitely needs some help, because this is not how you make a mob farm. A few hundred blocks away from the mob farm, I found this massive lava cast going all the way up to White 230. I have no idea why somebody just randomly made this, but I just moved on. After flying for a bit, I reached the 8K mark. Now, I don't know why was there a 8K mark, but no 6K or 7K mark, but I also don't really care. Anyways, right next to the mark, there was this cool house that I decided to explore. After safely landing in some water, I looked in some of the chests, and they were mostly filled with random items, but they also had quite a bit of dirt, so you know I had to borrow some. Anyways, I went into the house and it was pretty much empty. Something really cool about the house though, it was cut in the middle, so like the road basically cut the house, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyways, I kept walking for a bit and I found this small bakery. It looked pretty nice. There was also this weird redstone thing, which looked like a dupe machine, so I went to check it out and see if I can dupe myself. After opening a chest with some food, I kindly traded my dirt for it, and then I checked out the dupe machine. Now, because I'm a dumb, I didn't really know what to do, so I just took the diamond from it and left. Right next to the bakery, there was this small stash, and this stash was filled up with random items. It had cobblestone, dirt, and much more. I decided to not take anything and just leave it. Next to the stash, I also found this cute house, and I left a sign telling the owner I didn't grief it. I also saw a massive highway made out of glass in the sky, but to make sure I don't miss anything, I decided to not use it. I also found another small stash, and I used a boat to get down without taking any fall damage. The stash basically had the exact same items from the last stash, which makes me think the stash might be duped. Also, next to the stash, I found this cute cabin with smoke coming out of the chimney. Anyways, I kept going until I found a stash hidden inside a mountain. To get into the stash, you had to use a secret trapdoor. Unfortunately, it seems like somebody has already seen this before me and probably took everything. Now at this point, the road has become way smaller, going from the 5 blocks wide to only being 2 blocks wide, which made me think the road is gonna end soon, but I was totally wrong. After a bit of walking, I found this cute island with a small house made out of bamboo blocks and a small sugarcane farm. A few thousand blocks away, I also found this house, and then I reached the 15K milestone. Now there was a bunch of stuff, but the first thing I explored is this abandoned tree farm, which for some reason was in the sky. There was also a small base with a small farm in the mountain, and it also had this cool water design on the floor. The base was basically completely ungriefed, and that's pretty nice to see. On the 15K mark, there is also this house with a bunch of signs that ask what is 1 + 1, and then somebody wrote a bunch of racist stuff next to it, so I can't show it. Anyways, this was a pretty cool milestone, but I had to move on. After taking a quick dump, of course. Anyways, I came back and flew a couple thousand blocks. Then I found this small house, and I also saw a hidden shulker box, which made me think it might have a bunch of stuff. So I decided to go look what's in the shulker box, and to my complete shock, it was filled with items. It had diamond and netherite. It was actually crazy, and this was the first time I've actually found something valuable on the server. Anyways, this was amazing, but I had to keep going. Not long after, I found this lava cast structure with this temple or bathroom in the middle. I have really no idea what to call it. Now at this point, the road has stopped being a road and it's more like a bombed road. You could still see some of it, so I just kept going after the blowing up truck. Anyways, I found this cool house, and as I was using my boat to get down, this happened. Yep, I just died and lost everything I ever owned. That was everything I had. I have nothing left on the server. I immediately got into a portal and made my way back. After around 20 minutes of flying, I was able to make my way back, or so I thought. I looked at my coordinates and I was at the right coordinates, but I just couldn't find the house I died next to. So I looked back at the recording and saw my coordinates, and I was on the other side. I accidentally traveled to the other side of the map, so I killed myself and came back to the other side. Luckily, I was able to make my way back and took all the loot before it despawned. But this entire thing was really frustrating, and from now on I'll be way more careful when using my boat. Anyways, I kept going and the road now became a 1x1 road, and then I reached the 25k milestone, and I thought the road ended because the road has actually just ended, but just to make sure I flew a bit more and the road has kept going. Anyways, I found this cool island and it had an ender chest, so I put all of my important stuff in it. After traveling for a few more minutes, I was able to get to the 30k mark. Now, it wasn't anything special, just a sign made out of cobblestone and dirt, but it was still progress. There was also the 30k hat, which was interesting. I kept going on the road, but a few thousand blocks away, I found this. Now, initially, I thought it was just a griefed old structure, but as I walked inside, it was completely new. It was beautiful and it looked like an old castle. In the back of the castle, there was this very cool design for a door, and the whole base was just really cool with some red and yellow carpets going throughout the whole base. The base has definitely seen a lot of visitors, but it was in great shape. It was nice seeing a build like this, but I had to move on. For the next few thousand blocks, I haven't really found anything other than the 40k milestone, but eventually I passed by this nice base with a small farm and this cool house. There was also a house built into the mountain, and inside the house there was a bunch of signs, and one of the signs said, "Resisting the urge to grief this, you've been spared," which I thought was really funny. The base didn't really have anything, but it was pretty beautiful. Not long after, I reached the 45k mark, and slowly the player activity became less and less. Eventually, I reached the 50k milestone, and then the 555 milestone. I have no idea why this is a milestone, but I had to keep going. Not too far away from the milestone, I found this shape. Then I found this massive building. It looked like it had a McDonald's logo on it, and behind that there was a 2025 sign. I made sure to leave my own sign saying I was here, and then I explored the building using FreeCam, and I found out that the building was going all the way down to bedrock level. Next to it there was also this small base with a bamboo farm and a cute design. Then I reached to the top of the tower and I found this funny sign that said,
"As all humans began, they stole, they left nothing but one at all."
Type shit. Anyways, I kept going and I started going pretty crazy because I've been walking on this road for the past 2 hours. But after a few more minutes, the road has just suddenly stopped. Now, this is not the first time it stopped, so I kept going thinking it's gonna come back. And after flying for a few more minutes, it was finally confirmed. The road has stopped at exactly 62,000 blocks. I was really not expecting this video to take me this long, but I had a lot of fun and I hope you had fun watching this. Yo, what is that?